Hello and welcome to the show. My guest today is Dr. Doug Milner of Fibonacci Smile and his patient Martine. Doug is part of an organization. He donates his time to give back a smile. And Martine is his patient who received her new smile after leaving a domestic violence situation and starting a whole new life. We'll talk with both of them today on the show. Thank you for being here, Doug. Dr. Doug Milner. I know you as Doug.
Great to see you, Lisa. Glad to be
You
here.
too. So let's talk about this because it's been important to you to contribute to your community and do the things that you do as a dentist. And you have all kinds of options for how you support things. So, but first, let's go back to the beginning of even wanting to become a dentist and the work it took. And here you are, right? So tell us a little bit about the path of your career and when did you decide on dentistry and how has it been for you since you've been here quite a while?
Yeah. Well, I'm one of the odd ones that kind of knew what I wanted to do at a very early age. I was 13 when I first decided that I was at the dental office. I had a great dentist, Dr. Don Darling in Kashmir. He had lots of great energy, and I love the little gadgets in the room and all the stuff. And thought, well, this looks fun. I think I'll do this. And I think part of that was my dad was always like, what are you going to do when you grow up? So he contributed
She had an
anything.
answer.
Yeah. And so I kind of stuck with it ever since then, and has found that it really is a great fit for me. I really love being a dentist and helping people and owning my own business and doing all that stuff, and get to work with my hands and work with people in a healing kind of way, which is a really neat connection with people. So those have all been a great fit for me over the years.
One of the things that happens sometimes, like it seems to be, I interview people in different professions. Recently, this year, I've interviewed probably three people who started out as lawyers and decided, they decided to do something different, or they changed how they were practicing law. So
Yeah.
I wondered, from dentistry point of view, it takes years of training. Did any of it ever seem disenchanting to the idea of what you thought it would be compared to what it is, or has it exceeded your expectations of a 13-year-old?
I know, really, the more I got into it, the more I enjoyed it. I I'm kind of a craftsy kind of person growing up, made little model airplanes and did stuff like that. And I find that it scratches that itch, and it helps me that way. If it has a very creative, most people don't think of it probably being a dentist as having creativity, but there's a fair bit of creativity, especially when it comes to designing teeth and smiles and all of that. So um, I think I'm definitely one of the weird ones. That is pretty unusual to to find something that you at that age and just really enjoy it. I remember uh, walking around dental school just like, so happy I'm here. I can't believe I'm here. So yeah, it's been something that's really fit well for me. So
Well, I'm really good friends with your wife, Tammy. And sometimes, we're talking on the phone and you're coming in and people think dentists, 7 to 4 or 8 to 5 or whatever the case. And then you're coming in 7:30, 8 o'clock sometimes. And patient care has long been closed for the day. But you are doing exactly what you're talking about, kind of planning, like what would be the word for it? It's not a project necessarily, but if you're doing a big project on someone's mouth, there takes some planning and engineering and some creativity.
yeah, so it's one of the things that I've really enjoyed doing, and we do a fair bit of here is help people that have more complex needs, and those complex needs meaning more breakdown, more wear, more comprehensive than just, oh, I got one tooth here that has a problem. So as we do a lot of that as well, but we're also kind of known for helping people with more complex problems, and that takes more time, more effort, more training, more communication, more skills, all of it to help someone with those kind of issues, and it's more fun. I like being challenged, and but it does take time, and yeah, it does mean sometimes I'm here later in the day after I've
Not
done
all the time, just
some.
sometimes. Well, and also you travel quite a bit for your continued education and conferences and things. I mean,
Yes.
there's a lot of dentist things going on around the country because, again, I'm friends with your wife, and she'll say, "Oh, we're here, and we're here, and we're here," and it's a dental thing. And
Yeah.
so that's it. Looks like you guys are having a good time when you're there, but you're also getting the education, like continued education, because
Yeah.
dentistry, I'm sure, has changed so much since you started your practice. How long have you been in practice? Yeah.
31 years ish.
Lots of changes, right? Talk about continuing education. So that's got to be a really big part of it too.
Yeah, and really that's what connected me to this organization that we're going to talk about is through some of the continuing education on a national level, and finding people that are as strange as me and passionate about dentistry.
Motivated, those sorts of things. Those are the words I
Yeah,
would use.
and motivated to be the best we can be. And you get around people like that, it's very contagious. And so some of these national meetings is that really what fuels my fire to continue to be the best dentist that I can be. So I enjoy those organizations and those meetings, and so particularly the American Academy of Cosmetic Dentistry is one of the annual meetings we go to, and that's what connected me to the Give Back a Smile Foundation and the process that we're eventually going to talk about today.
That we're eventually, well, that's exactly what it is. Give back a smile. And that's why we're here today. We're here to talk with one of your patients and you as well. So Martine will be joining the show in just a moment. We want to have the conversation about the work that you two did together. And then also I'll be talking about Martine's story specifically. So stick around, Doug, please. And then I'm going to have my conversation with Martine, and then we'll bring you both to the show together at the end of the show in the last segment. All right?
Sounds great.
I know you're a busy guy, so we'll keep it rolling.
Sounds good.
Back in just a moment. Martine, thanks for being here today. I know this isn't a super simple conversation for you to have, and Doug definitely will join us at the end of the show to bring you both together. I know that you were part of a domestic violence situation that you escaped, and it is why you're here today with the beautiful smile that we'll be talking more about with the organization Bring Back a Smile that Doug helped you have that smile that you have, that you were talking about. So let's talk about the situation. Not we don't want to go back in the past. You're all about moving forward, but
Right.
because we're having a conversation about domestic violence, I know that there were times you probably didn't have a lot of hope and you felt alone and afraid. And, we want to speak to the people who either are
Okay.
experiencing what you're experiencing
Okay.
or who know people who are experiencing what you're experiencing. And so
Right.
I'd imagine the isolation is difficult and it takes a strength that you have to build up to be prepared to make the exit that you did successfully.
Right. I just want everybody to know who might be listening that might be in this situation. There's many different situations, but when when it's just got too much, when you've had too much and you're done. It's very hard to leave for financial reasons, for many reasons, for security. But when you lose yourself, and I know there's people that are listening to me right now that might be in this situation, there's a way out. You just have to, number one, hopefully have faith in your heart and just pray, get on that phone, contact. There are emergency lines, there are hotlines for domestic violence, especially at the YWCA. You have to jump through hoops, but from what everything and everybody's gone through, those hoops are going to be nothing, because when you get out on the other side, it's going to be a whole different life. You're going to feel confident. You're going to look at yourself in the mirror instead of hating yourself by looking at what you see from what you live, the life you live. You'll have a chance. So if you have no hope right now and you think that things are just at wit's end and that black hole is something that you're stuck in, it's not. It is absolutely achievable to get out there, make the phone calls, make the contact, and move on. There is a way out of this horrible, horrible dilemma that you might be in.
One of the things that you were sharing with me off air is what was your first step, which was to secure a phone. And I wanted you to share that today because someone watching might not know that that's a first step. Having a phone and hiding it, that was your first step.
Right, absolutely. And that's why also you have to go, if you go to the like a place like the YWCA and you tell them the situation, they will give you a phone. They will give you the phone, and you have to hide it and make sure that your partner does not know that you have it. That's one of the first steps. You've got to have communication. That is the number, and that people that you communicate understand what situation that you are in. That is very important.
Because one of the things you also said is, you know, you get out to the other side, and if you don't have people knowing that you've left and knowing the situation you were in or receiving you with the help
Right.
allocated to you,
Right.
then it is more likely you're going to go back. And then, as you'd said off air, it could get even worse. So you are where you are today. And I'm so happy for your bravery and appreciate you so much for being willing to share it. And most definitely, you know, people don't see what you looked and felt like before, because you're so radiant with that beautiful smile now, with the confidence and the things that you're sharing. So I just thank you for being here and giving hope to those who are watching. And is there anything else you'd like to say about that to the people who are watching?
You know, life is so precious, and you know, people just need to be kind to each other. And when you're in a situation, and people, even if it's physical or mental or situation, whatever you're in, that's not the way life is. Life is just to be kind and just live with freedom, knowing that somebody isn't taking advantage of your good nature and the person that you are. And don't get lost. You know, step out into the light, because there is light. I'm not being on a religious, I'm just saying there's a way out. You just have to keep the faith, keep the communication going, and know that somebody on the other side, somebody will be listening, and there is help, and they will be willing to help you. And so after everything was finished, and I stayed healthy and happy, I decided that I wanted to give back to the community that gave me all this amazing start. So I went back to school, and now I'm working with men that have disabilities. One happens to have cancer right now, and it is such a pleasure to give back to the people who so kindly gave to me. And I'm just very passionate for my job, because it's nothing I've ever done before, but I definitely see giving back the way that it was so freely given to me. It's just a joy. Thank you.
Martine, thanks for being here with Doug. Now we're all here together. So I wanted to save that for the last of the show and just tell the story. Doug, if you'll tell us a little bit more about Give Back a Smile, so the audience can just be more familiar with the organization and how you came to be part of it. And then Martine will ask you to share how you found Doug and started to work with him on your beautiful smile.
Yeah, as I was mentioning, the American Academy of Cosmetic Dentistry has started this as the charitable arm of their organization. So it has its own board of trustees, and it's which is what I serve on, have been for the last year and a half. Actually, I've been serving on it after I met Martine and helped her with her smile there. So, but I've been contributing to that organization for many years. And I don't know how many years it's been around, but I'm sure it's over 20 years that it's been around. So it's a national organization that helps with victims of domestic violence and helping them with their any dental problems they have. And there are dentists all over the country that volunteer to be a part of this, say that they're willing to help out if there's someone that in their area that needs some help. So I put my name in to be one of those dentists, and had the fortune of meeting Martine through that process.
So Martine, then how did you find Doug? What was it from your side of things, and how were you selected? Is there a process to apply, or how does that come about for you?
Well, at the time it was pandemic, so I got away from a very black hole, and I came to Spokane in Washington, and I did a little research, and the YWCA in Spokane asked me to come down. It was very hard making appointments at that time, as you can imagine, because of all the pandemic that was going on. However, Dawn Hart, HART, she's not with the Y anymore. She has moved on, but she was one of the advocates over there, and she got the program. She knew what situation I'd been in, so on and so forth. And she said, well, let's see if we can get things started for you. And she told me about this particular Give Back a Smile. And it was a process, but she told me there was these different dentists that, they all volunteered, and I had to fill out a long application and tell them a little bit about my situation, and then how I ended up looking, and then I didn't send any pictures. Everything was done, on a interview form. And then by the grace of God, I got Dr. Milner, and it has been the most fabulous experience ever. There's just not enough words to say. I say Dr. Milner, but it's not just Dr. Milner. Dr. Milner always says it's his whole team, his associates, people in the lab, his lovely wife, everybody just put their arms around me and walked me through this process. And it did start at the Y, and he picked, I guess he looks at them all and he picks one out. So he picked my name out, and I got Doug, and Doug and I got this amazing dentist who. Yes. And the story just gets better from here on. So that's how, you might want to edit that.
This process, you're going through this process, and you're absolutely 100% agree with you that you're blessed to have gotten Dr. Doug Milner, such a man of integrity, Doug. And so now this is a process, right? It's like one of these projects that Doug and I talked about earlier in the show, where he's mapping things out, planning things out, having multiple visits. It doesn't happen in one visit. So you build a relationship and a rapport over time. And Doug already knows that commitment that's going into it when he says yes, and I'll do it. Did you realize the commitment on your part? And from your point of view of what you thought it would be, how much did it even exceed those expectations?
Well, I was living totally in the moment. At that time, I was privately flown by Angel Flight through all my visits, and Alaska Airlines also, when the little planes couldn't get in, they brought the big planes in. Mm-hmm. And I was privately flown from Angel Flight, and I just knew in my heart, I never worried about it. I was concerned because I was concerned, would it be hurting? Would there be pain? I mean, what are these people going to be like? I had not a clue, but it was just like, it was an absolute movie. Mm-hmm. So everything just worked out so well. They just their kindness and the way that they got to know me, and he's so skillful. And he gave me this beautiful smile, and it's just, and I remember them saying, this is going to be a, life-changing. And oh my gosh, it's more than that. My life has just, I have an incredible story, but this has just Dr. Milner has just changed my whole life, and everybody, Fibonacci team and his associates and everybody. Yeah.
So Doug, let's talk about from the first time you met Martine, and, there's quite a bit of work that needs to be done. And you already can, I imagine, envision what her smile will become. And you see people transformed by smiles every day in your practice. Maybe not to this magnitude every single day, but you definitely have that rewarding work. So what can you say about Martine from the beginning, when you first met her, to when you were all done and even here today?
Yeah, well, I think, Martine, that if you remember, those first few visits were a little bit challenging. I mean, you needed to be able, you didn't know me. You didn't know how I was going to be with you. And so I think it took you a little while to figure out, and for us to develop a relationship, really. I mean, that's what it is. And so that took, a couple of visits to learn, to get to know each other, so that we could really trust each other on the time. And then it really just grew over time. And it took about a year-long process from when we first met to when we finished the work. And we had lots of other helpers along the way. We had my oral surgeon that we referred to, the Central Washington Oral Facial Surgery, help with some extractions. And we had a dental friend of mine in Spokane who was able to help with a visit or two, because then it was easier not to have to come all the way to Wenatchee for something little to check on. And Martine continues to see them to keep up her dental health. And that's Dr. Katie Hakes in her office in Spokane, and they're fabulous friends and office that's helped Martine. And so we had just lots of people that contributed to the whole thing. And like you said, Martine said, my team here is fabulous. They help put people at ease and help get through that transition period. There's a lot of fear around having work done in your mouth and learning to trust people, and all that needs to happen. And so it did take a little bit of time for that to really feel like, but by the end we became fast friends. So I'm really appreciative of not all of the people that we end up helping in this program become great ambassadors and are so grateful every day for what they received. It's just partly human nature, but Martine is an amazing person, and she is really it's been really fun to watch her just flourish and bloom with what was in her that was having a hard time coming out because of that smile. So you can see how she smiles all the time now. and that's a fantastic thing. That's a gift that she's giving to the world, a part of who she is, and spreading that joy and being able to tell what's really inside her, letting that come out. I think that's a fantastic thing.
That's fabulous. So Martine, Doug's going to get back to work. Is there anything you'd like to say to him before we sign off here?
Well, I do keep in contact with the Milners, so my life has changed. The confidence that I have today, and what you made me feel, like you said, that has come out of me, and the joy I have by smiling every day and interacting with people, and people stop me in the street. I've been from state to state. People I don't even talk to them. I might be talking on the phone and smile, and they go, "God, you've got a beautiful smile." And I'll think, "Oh, well, thank you very much." And it's everywhere. And anywhere I go, it's magnetic. I don't know what magic is going on down there in Wenatchee, and Five Wenatchee Smile. But they are just magnificent. And I just wanted to say thank you so kindly for everything, Dr. Milner. You'll always be in my heart. Everybody down there will be. Thank you.
Thanks, Martine. Yes, so grateful for you as well.
Thank you both for being here, and thank you so much. So it's Give Back a Smile is the organization, and I'd imagine Doug will contribute to it for as long as you're in practice. So thank you both for being here and for sharing your story.
Thank you very much. We appreciate your time.